talking about my new talk show, Live with Carisha. We shoot live on Thursdays in Atlanta. It's amazing. What are you waiting for? Tap in. What's up? It's Carisha J at the Live with Carisha Business Series, and I'm pleased to have our first author this evening, the beautiful Alycia Mone. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I love the hair.
Thank
I
you.
love the red lip.
Thank you. Thank you. You look beautiful as well.
Thank you.
Always,
Thank
always.
You. I try. Just a little something, not too much. The book.
Yes.
We have to talk about the book.
Yes.
Before we go into this book, y'all, let's go back to the background. We're gonna go backwards a little bit. Mm-hmm. Talk to us about home. You grew up in Atlanta.
I did. So, I grew up in ATL, of course, like the west side of Atlanta, the rougher part of Atlanta. So it was just rough. The typical mom working hard. My father, he was on drugs, so he wasn't really in the house. So, which kind of left the door open, and we kind of had a little bit of freedom or whatever, but not a lot of freedom, because my mom was the type of mom, we had to be at home just because, she didn't want us out in the street. Now that I'm older, I understand. Mm-hmm. But back then I just thought she was being strict, but she also let us have a lot of freedom at home, if that makes sense.
Right.
So yeah.
You're okay. So you brothers and sisters?
I have sisters. Yes, three sisters.
3 sisters?
Yes, all girls.
Y'all was in Atlanta going crazy. Wait. What part of Atlanta?
Adamsville. I'm from Adamsville.
Is Adamsville considered Atlanta by Amaretta standards?
Yes, by Amaretta standards, it is.
Do we need to go back to the song?
It is. Okay. It's like near Bankhead.
Okay, that's Atlanta.
That's Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay. So, how did your book? Your author. Mm-hmm. What else do you do besides being an author?
I do behavior aid, mental health. I have host women's conferences, speaker. I also manage an artist, Indira.
So you manage Indira?
Indira
Aku?
Yes.
You're her manager?
I am.
What a small world. I love Indira.
Yes.
I love Indira.
Yes.
She performed at the last show I hosted, what was it called? At Crazy Atlanta. I hosted a show at Crazy Atlanta downtown like a week ago, and I got her performance there.
Okay.
She was supposed to perform at Live with Carisha last month, but I think she's going to be at the Live with Carisha show next month.
Okay.
She can really rap.
Yes, she's really good, and she knows how to sing as well.
She can sing too.
Yes. So her rap,
manager.
Right? Her rap just kind of like pushed her forward a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I guess because that's what is popular right now, but she actually can really sing too.
Really? Mm-hmm. She's a talented girl.
Yeah, she
beautiful
really is.
Too.
Yes.
She's a good rapper.
Yes.
I don't get that often.
I know. Yes, definitely.
She's very lyrical.
Yes.
Okay, so do you manage anyone else or just her?
Just her.
I like that.
Yeah.
So when did you step into the management stage?
I stepped into it probably about 3 or 4 months ago with her. So yeah, she's like my first client.
I like that.
Yes.
Why though? Why did you decide to be a manager to an artist in Atlanta, the biggest music city?
Right. So I've been knowing Indira for a while, and I actually was a manager at a child care center that we used to work at. Mm-hmm. And she was just like, hey, we connect, and I know that you have good intentions with everything that you do, and, she asked me to be her manager, and I was just like, yeah, of course, I'll do it, So, and I'm familiar with it. I've done management, marketing for a little over 8 years, so it's not new to me. Mm-hmm. Like in the industry, yes, but I've done it for like companies, so... Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the day-to-day role of a manager for a music artist.
So the day-to-day role is, it's basically just planning. We're planning all the time, and we're talking and planning, working on the next move. Me just talking to her, just making sure she's mentally okay, all of those things play a big role. So I'm more than just like a manager. She called me her momager.
Momager. We love those. We love
Yes.
those.
So so I'm always checking in with her, making sure she's good, planning things, setting up different shows for her, just kind of like just running everything.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little bit. So you said you also do behavior
Aid and mental health.
behavior aid and mental health. Now, is that a 9 to 5 for you, or?
Well, I make my own schedule, so it's not really a 9 to 5, but it's, yeah.
Okay, and what does that job typically do?
So basically, and it's for youth. So basically, it's me mentoring the youth in the community. A lot of the children that I do work with are foster kids. It's actually, my family actually owns the company that I work for. So, yeah, we have a contract through DFACS, and we work with the kids. And basically, I'm just like a mentor. Anytime, I do it anyway. If I see a kid that needs to be talked to, I do. So, sometimes it gets rough, especially when you're dealing with like suicidal children or children who are victims of sex trafficking and rape and molestation and all of that kind of stuff. It gets hard, but I don't really typically have issues. It's just more so mentally hard because it's like, how do you get someone to understand that, it's way more life out here than that. And, you could be so much more. And I do, one of the things that drove me to write my book and tell my story is because I went through a lot of things similar to that, molestation,
Right.
abandonment, all type of things. So with that, me writing my book and plus God putting me in the field to be able to still do that kind of thing, I feel like I'm where I should be. But yes, it does get hard, but I do, encourage, and I do get through to a lot of them, you miss a few, but
You miss a few. But
you
listen,
miss a few.
I really feel like with your line of work and what's going on right now in the school systems of the United
Yes.
States, we desperately need what you do in these school systems.
Yes.
To kind of see what's going on with these kids upstairs mentally. Maybe that could help prevent.
And so that's my next move, going
Okay.
into the school system, because even though my family has the company, I actually have a nonprofit organization that I started, and then I kind of slacked off from it just because life started lifing for me.
Life was lifing. But I tell people, when life starts lifing, you life back at life.
Yes, girl, yes. So, yes, but with my nonprofit, so my goal is to be able to use my nonprofit to be able to help the kids that are not in DFACS custody, because it is a price that you would have to pay, and everybody can't afford that, so it gets pushed to the side. So with my nonprofit, my goal is to partner with my family business and get funding so that we can go into the school system and get those kids who may not have Medicaid or may not, parents that just may not even know, that we exist,
Right.
And just get with them and service those kids, because they're our future.
They are our
and they're
future.
going to be our doctors and lawyers, and they're going to be our everything in a minute,
Right.
So
Our president.
Our
Shout out
president.
to the upcoming election.
Exactly. Shout out.
That's a
Yes.
story in itself, child. That's a whole nother ballgame.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, it's going down.
It is.
Are you registered to vote? That's all I'm going to ask.
I am. I am.
I don't even need to know who you're voting for. It's not my business. As long as you're registered,
Listen, I'm going to just say this. I feel like, honestly, it's going to be a mess either way. Either way we go, it's going to be a mess.
She said it.
And I say that I'm a woman, and I'm women empowerment, and I'll probably lean more towards that way. But I say that because the world isn't ready for a Black woman to run, and that's just my opinion. And I hope that everything go well, but I feel like, it's going to be a race war. I feel like it's going to be a whole big thing, Trump already said it was going to be a bloodbath, and he's so crazy.
Mr.
But
Orange.
and Mr. Orange is a mess.
He
but
is. We're not having a bloodbath.
But when they are privileged,
yes,
and you see how they stormed the Capitol and they just thought that was okay. So just imagine
what's going to happen.
And he keep getting shot at.
It was his followers all walking with the patch on their ear for me.
Girl.
They showed up to his convention. They all had patches on their ear, I guess, to stand in solidarity with their president. I was
this is crazy.
Y'all are worse than the Beehive.
Right.
Y'all and Beyonce, and I'm in the Beehive. Beyonce has some diehard fans in the Beehive. But what do we call the Trump supporters? What's his team? What's his fan base called? We'll just call them
the mega crazies.
The orange megas. The orange megas.
The orange megas.
The orange megas. The orange megas are worse than the Beehive. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
But let's get into this book before we wrap up. Talk about the book. Because for those of y'all that's gonna see this interview, this story, ooh, child.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, the way the book is set up, I start from my childhood and I talk about my abandonment issues that I had, and I move up to just different obstacles that I faced in life with just day-to-day life, and it's just, feeling lost or feeling like I don't know which way to go, because when you grow up in the hood, my mom, God rest her soul, she passed in April.
Okay.
But,
Mine's passed in April,
really?
3 years ago.
Oh, okay, she passed this year.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And she was my everything, but sometimes as parents, we do what we feel like is best and what we think, and it may not necessarily prepare us in the way we expected for it to prepare us or whatever. And our kids, they might think the same about us or whatever. But she did the best she could, but a lot of times it was me and my sisters kind of like having to raise ourselves just because she had to work so hard to fill in the gap from where my father, wasn't there.
That's a story I feel like we're all familiar with.
Exactly, yes.
The mom was out here getting to it. My mom was working 2 or 3 jobs. My mom, even up on her dying day, she passed away from cancer.
My mom passed away from cancer.
Oh, gosh, we have a lot in common. She was still trying to find a new job. She was enrolled at Temple University.
Wow.
If anyone wants to know how I got to be like this, it's definitely my mom. Like,
yeah.
Mom, you are sick.
Yeah.
You're in school. Like, that says a lot about people.
Yeah.
Like, she's strong.
Yes.
So,
and I do feel like I get a lot of my strength from my mom as well. But at the end of each chapter, I have like a message that I feel like God intended for me to learn during that season, of each chapter. I have a chapter in here called Abandonment, a chapter, the battlefield in your mind, where I was really like battling in my mind with so many different things, At one point I was suicidal, I dealt with a lot, and I'm blessed to not look like my story and look like what I've gone through.
I love that.
Which is a blessing. But and it was like once I became an adult, I was still going through, I have 4 children. My first 2 kids they have their dad, and then my second 2 kids have their dad. But I was with my first 2 kids' dad for about 5 or 6 years, and I ended up being on the run from him. He was like stalking me. I was dealing with then I moved with my sister, and people would be like, "Your baby daddy outside," type thing.
That's dangerous.
It was so dangerous.
Rest in peace to the lady that just lost her life.
Yes,
just going around.
This is the crazy part. At that time, we were living in Clayton County, and I tried to get a restraining order against him. Do you know he went and paid the judge? And when I got in there, the judge was just treating me like crap. Wouldn't let me talk. Treated me like I was the bad person.
The judge was a guy?
It was a guy. Yes. So anyway, it got thrown.
Not very demure.
It wasn't very
Not very
demure.
mindful to watch
Nope.
out for this queen.
Yes. So it got thrown out. So I was still dealing with that. And, he would call my phone and be like, you might as well come home because, even the judge said you're crazy. Like, just crazy stuff. Sitting outside my house, my sister's house, saying these things to me like I'm the crazy one. And so then I just felt like, what do I do? So my sister, she had her child and she was kind of like in fear and she like, we got to do something about it. And I felt bad, so I ended up going back. So I went back and it got worse and it was bad. And I ended up getting pregnant, and that's how I ended up getting pregnant with my second son or whatever. And so he ended up going to jail.
The father?
Yes.
Okay.
And so when he went to jail, I ran, I left. He didn't know where I was. I ended up moving with my aunt, and she was like, I dare him to come over here, and her husband, they weren't playing that. Like, her husband, he was big at this law firm, and she was a school teacher, and all of her kids are like very successful, and they had like a nice home or whatever. So they weren't playing that. They was like, mm-mm. So I did that. And then I ended up moving eventually and doing my own thing. And I met my second kid's father. And we were good and knight in shining armor. And he was, everything. Of course, we struggled trying to, make it or whatever. I had 2 kids. He actually had 2 kids by a previous person. But on into our relationship, things kept getting rocky or whatever. And later on, I found out he was married.
And that's in the book.
That's in the book.
That's all we're gonna say.
Okay.
That's all we're gonna.
That's it. Get the book.
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 Because it's juicy.
It's juicy.
What's the name of the book?
I once was lost, but now I'm free.
I once was lost, but now I'm free.
I'm free.
Here's the freedom.
Yes. To freedom.
Today, how are you today, mentally?
Mentally, I am good. I have moments, especially with my mom passing away this year, but mentally I'm good. I feel like I'm strong because I have to be strong, and all I've ever known was to be strong.
Right.
So mentally, I'm good. So I can say that everything is good.
Everything is good. So where can we follow you at? Where can we buy the book? Where can we hear more of your story and get some information about mental health?
Yes. So you can follow me at the Alycia Mone. And my book is on Amazon. You can look it up by I Once Was Lost But Now I'm Free or Alycia Mone.
We love it. The beautiful Alycia Mone. Checking into the Live with Carisha business series with her book. Let me see it.
Yes.
So I can show the camera on my end. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Available on Amazon.
Yes.
Shout out to this. This is an amazing testimony that I cannot wait to read myself.
Yes.
It's like a good thick read. Ooh, nice. Okay. It's not like really smallly written, so it's like a billion words on one page. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good read. I can finish this in about a week.
Yeah.
Probably less.
Yeah.
But I'll be busy. Follow her everywhere. You know where to follow me at. First of all, download the American New app and stream Live with Carisha from your phone, from your TV, at home, while you're with your boyfriend, your dog, your girlfriend. Even while you're on the clock, watch Live with Carisha because you're going to get some juice, some information, some good vibes, that good energy. Follow me on Instagram at Carisha Diva. And as always, stay fabulous, stay blessed. Peace. Ooh, I like that one.